my gosh. Hi. I'm kind of losing my voice, but this is my fourth floss tube. Ink Stitch Mama is my floss tube channel, and it's also me on Instagram. And it's been like 2 months since I did a floss tube because I have depression, and sometimes it's hard. You have this negative voice in your head, right? That says things like, I'm not good enough. My lighting sucks. I'm not, you know, the kind of person that gets tons of views. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And, I was thinking about it today. I think about it actually a lot. My son is 12 and he's like, Mom, are you still doing that YouTube thing? And I'm like, yeah, I need to get back to that. And so, like, even today, I'm like, I could stitch or I could do my floss tube. What's wrong with me? I'm going to do my floss tube. So putting this up and recording this is like an act of, it's like a spiritual discipline. it's like an act of like self-care to come to share my stitchy stuff for the last couple of months. It kind of sucks that my voice is like a little bit but I was actually really excited to do this too because I wanted to share. When I started my floss tube, I was saying that I'm like a monogamous stitcher. I only do like one. I'm a monogamous stitcher, right? And then in January, I joined a bunch of stitch alongs, and I also joined this thing called Fandom Stitching Central, I think, on Facebook. And it's like themed for the Lord of the Rings, but you have these like weekly challenges and monthly challenges to stitch certain things, like I don't know, Bilbo makes a picnic, and so stitch something that has something to do with food, or you know, stitch something gray for Gandalf the Wizard. And because of this Facebook group, I've made a lot of friends, which is awesome, but I've also gone off the rails. I have gone off of the freaking rails as far as stitching stuff goes. Like I don't even know how to explain it, except I guess if you know, you know. That like everything, like I've got, all of a sudden I've got like 16 works in progress. Actually, maybe not 16, but I will have 16 after March because they're doing this March Madness type thing. Anyway, I have way more works in progress than I did in the beginning of January. And I also have, like, somebody was like, you should get a whip go, and I haven't made a whip go yet, but I have bought things that I normally would be intimidated to buy, like patterns, like full coverage type patterns that I have historically kind of been like, nah, I don't know, I'm not good enough for that. So we'll see. Especially if I come back, like I will when I come back and do my next floss tube after, like, especially in March, you'll see like the progress I've made with some of those. I'm talking with my hands a lot. So so today I kind of wanted to share some of that off the rails that's happened, and I also wanted to show some of my stitching progress. So it'll be kind of like a whip parade light, because I'm not going to show every whip that I have. That's redundant and terrible. But no, it's not terrible. See? Anyway, but I am going to share some of the ones that are like on my heart. And it is like blizzard weather in Southern California right now. I'm not even being facetious. Like, it's snowing in certain parts of my county, and people are kind of, as you would expect, freaking out about it because we don't have hail and snow and stuff. That's not our normal. And so, or like, you know, mudslides, we're getting that kind of thing too, and like cars being submerged in water. So I'm extra cozy inside. I have some sore throat lozenges and my, like my partner's cozy jacket, and the dog is here somewhere. So I thought, oh, this is the perfect time to do my floss tube. So thank you for sharing with me. I got a bunch of subscribers, and I'm really grateful for that. And thank you for watching this and for hanging with me. And especially if you were like, oh, Erin posted something. It's been 2 months. I'm going to watch it. Thank you for coming back. I really appreciate that. So I guess I'll go with the whips first. I don't have any finishes. No finishes at all, especially no like FFOs. Like, what is that? Who even knows? The main whip that I've been working on is the 2023 Fox and Rabbit Mystery Sampler. I'll link it. I kind of feel like since I'm one of the new stitchers, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I have to tell you about Fox and Rabbit. And everybody around me, because I'm new, is like, yeah, we know, or like the Witchy Stitcher, or I don't know, like certain like famous cross stitchy type stuff. Like I got the Starlight Stitchery box. I'll talk about that later. I won't do the whole box, but I'll talk about it. And I'm like mind blown. Like, holy moly, like they're making boxes that they've curated for us stitchers. This is amazing. And I feel like around me people are like, yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of funny. So like I said, the main whip that I have is my Fox and Rabbit Mystery Sampler, and it is ginormous. And part of the reason why it's ginormous is because I don't like linen. It's not that I'm scared of linen. I just prefer Aida. I like that the holes fit. It's easy. It's like you can do it without thinking too hard. And I know that you can get to that place with linen, but I'm not at that place. So I'm using 14 count, and I think I could graduate to like 18 count or probably even higher with it. I do feel more comfortable with a higher count. But in January, was thinking I want to make sure that this is done right, so I'm going to go with what I'm comfortable with, and that's fine. But, so this is my sampler. It is stained orange because my 7-year-old decided to spill some Fanta on it, and I took that as, okay, I'm going to make the sampler and then give it to her in 20 years for her wedding so that she has a Fanta stained sampler for her wedding. Maybe, Anyway, so I love this design. I've been obsessed with it. I think part of the obsession is that this motif took so long, and they said that it was like the biggest one. So I really get anxious at the idea of falling behind. So I finished this like 2 days ago. If you're on Instagram, I think I posted about it, but that made me really anxious. And so a lot of times when I could have been working on a different whip, or maybe should have been working on a different whip, I was working on this one. And so I did, and I chose not to do, I was going to do it all in this blue because I have like 6 or 7 skeins of this blue because I got it from like somebody's grandmother that had passed on, and he was giving away her stitchy stuff. And so I wanted to use it. And then I saw everybody else's progress on Facebook, and I was like, oh my gosh, you can use different colors. So the cool thing that I like about this pattern a lot is that my 7-year-old daughter helped me pick out a lot of the colors. So like she helped me pick out the pink and the red. Let's see here. I also am not really good at measuring. So you can see I've got like no margin for framing, which I'm okay with. It's funny because like at the bottom I have like margin to spare, so I'm learning. Anyway, so so this is the first one, and I think it's kind of I'm really pleased with it, even if like it's not perfect. I actually like that it's not perfect. I'm kind of like an anti-frogger for now, at least. I say that even though I frog like a major portion of this side, because I think it's just like part of like you as an artist, you know, your authenticity. So like for example with the seahorses, like I ran out of the color. I had like this purpley gray and I ran out of it, so I was like, what do I have? Oh, I've got this goldy kind of color, so I used that, and it doesn't look the same. It's not a mirror, like the images don't mirror each other, but I'm okay with it. Let me see if I can adjust my camera a little because it's driving me nuts. So this is February. There's supposed to be like a whole nother big huge like snowflake type thing here, and I'm working on the second snowflake. I was gonna try to do like alternating colors like a lot of people are doing, but I couldn't. But it's got like a little flower type thing here, and I was thinking pink for February and like a tree and a picnic basket. And I would never have picked up on that it was a picnic basket until I looked on Facebook and saw what other people were doing. But I feel so smart and cool. And the other thing that I really love about February is that I just I told you I went off the rails. I joined a stash unloading group on Facebook. So people who are getting rid of their stashes and, for whatever reason, and a lot of them are like really vintagey stash, like teddy bears and ducks, and oh, I can't even think, like a lot of Santas that I'm not interested in. But a lot of people get rid of their thread, and so somebody was getting rid of weeks by weeks, and I've heard it like on flosstube. I've heard so much about weeks by weeks, and so I was like, ooh, I want to try this. I did. I'm glad, kind of glad. So I'm using for this motif this really pretty, it's called Raspberry, and it's like variegated. Let me see if it will, yeah, you can kind of see. It's not, there it goes. So, I like it. I think I have to invest in some of those floss bags because, I also have been trying fiber. Oh God, what's the name of the group? It's fiber. Let me see the name. It's fiber. What's the name of that group? Forbidden Fiber. I've also been trying their thread, and I like how they put their thread on their floss drops. I'll talk about that in a second. But the weeks by weeks, they kind of just like bit through this thing, and then you still have to like pull it out to cut the thread, and that is annoying to me. So I almost feel like you should bobbinate it or put it in a floss bag and get rid of these things. But I don't want to get rid of these things because they're so cute. The struggle is so real. So yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to do, but I got a whole bag of different weeks by weeks, and I'm very excited to get into non-DMC threads. I think that makes me feel like an authentic cross-stitcher. So anyway, so that is my Fox and Rabbit mystery sampler. I should be caught up by the beginning of March. So I should have caught up, but of course that means that I've got a bunch of other sales that I joined and did not get caught up with at all because I was focusing so much on this, and that's okay. The good news is I still have a stitching bug. I am keeping it in this new project bag that I got. So I went off the rails and I have my own sewing machine, as you recall, but I suck at sewing and I need a tutorial. I need to go to a class or have someone who I know does sewing to come and show me how to do sewing, especially like the zipper. The zipper is, and like interfacing. I think I might be using the wrong interfacing. So, so my project bags don't look that great, but Etsy has great project bags. And one of the people that I have just fallen in love with, and probably because of this print, is an Australian lady named Narelle. I will show you some more of her stuff, but she goes by Simply Narelle on Etsy, and she makes project bags, and she has a project bag of the month, and I spend probably too much on shipping, but it's so worth it. And she puts little things, anyway, I'll go into that in a minute. But I'm getting my project bags from Australia right now, and it is totally because of this pattern. I bleed Diet Coke. It is one of my biggest sins. And a sin is not, it's not the right word, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I love diet soda. Diet Dr. Pepper. I have one right over there. The crisis, the post-pandemic economic crisis, and the fact that it has driven soda up, the price of soda up so freaking high, has been such a crisis for me. I love soda. We go to Vegas, we go to Coca-Cola World. I love soda. And so I saw this project bag by Narelle, and I snatched it up, and I had it shipped all the way from Australia to California, and it was so #worth it. I love it. I love this bag. It makes me feel so much joy, and so that's why my favorite whip is in it. Okay, so let's see, what else? My other whips... I am working on my other main, I would say that my other main whip, I have a couple of whips, but my other main whip is my Captain Spaulding whip by the Witchy Stitcher. So I hand dyed this fabric. It's just Aida. It's like, I don't know, some Aida that I probably inherited from someone else who was getting rid of their stash. I've had really good luck on like Facebook and eBay and such, getting people who are like retiring from stitching to give me their stuff for good prices. And so like one lady gave me like a ton of Aida, and I hand dyed it with my partner, and I'm making Captain Spaulding. So these are going to be like little chicken wings. And if you recall, I really hate this movie. I think I said that the last time we talked. I really hate this movie. This movie gave me nightmares. I don't like Rob Zombie's filmmaking style. I know if that's sacrilege, I'm sorry. But I love Eric. And so Eric loves Rob Zombie movies. I'm going to make him Captain Spaulding. And it's supposed to have something that he says at the bottom that's got the F word in it. So when I floss tube the finish one day, I don't know how I'm gonna like edit that out. Maybe I'll just like put some, anyway, I'm worrying about nothing right now. I really like how it's turning out. I have frogged a little bit, but not too much. And it is, again, like where I'm like, I don't really care. There is a couple of spots where it's like 3 different shades of the same freaking white. And I think it's worth it in the finished product. And that's like a kind of a really cool stitchy lesson, like where you get like impatient and you're just like, I'm just going to do it all white. Forget it. And then what if you are patient and you realize, oh my goodness, those 3 shades make a difference. Like, you have to trust the artist, which I know, like, sometimes, like, I've read that, like, skin tone or things like hands, and there's certain things that artists definitely do struggle with and screw up, but I thought this was a really great example of trusting the artist. I love the Witchy Stitcher. I've had really good luck with her patterns. I've done a line. She has a Freddy Krueger pattern too. That is like Sweet Dreams or something like that. I don't know. My stepdaughter's really into Freddy Krueger. And I had to start something sharp for one of the Fandom Stitching Central's prompts. So I bought the Witchy Stitcher and I did like a line of that prompt on Freddy Krueger. So I'm going to be probably like always working on something from that artist. She does good work. She does good work. I mean, and it's, again, like, everybody, like, she's pretty well known. Everybody knows. But I'm like, oh my gosh. Have you heard of this lady? She does this amazing gothic patterns. And people are like, yeah, we know. Okay. Ugh. The next... Something fell. Oh, my scissors. The next project is another, well, so this is another project bag. It's lavender from LaRail. And let's see, inside are a couple of whips that I am failing at right now. I'm not giving up, but I'm failing. And I'm partly blaming that Fox and Rabbit over there. One of them is the Dark Goddess Stitch Along, where she's going to do like Freya and Gila and a bunch of different goddesses. I can't remember the name of the person who's designing it. Witchy Garden Crafts, I think. I know I'm subscribing to her Ada of the month. I will link it. But this is how far I've gone. It's kind of like made to be like moons separating columns, like Greek columns. And I have not given a lot of time to this project because I have been working on that sampler, and that's okay. The other one on the similarly hand-dyed fabric is my temperature cross stitch, which I also have been failing at. And I think, like, I thought when I know when I started it, I thought, oh, it'll be really easy. I'll just do like 20 stitches a day, and then at the end it'll pay off. And yes, I think that's probably true, but I would rather be working on my sampler. So it is my 2023, I think it's the Climbing Goat Designs, their temperature cross stitch. Again, it's like the same tie-dye Ada that I tried with the whip. And you can see, like, it's been cold. We've had a really good winter in Southern California. Lots of rain, lots of cold. Like, we're actually using coats that normally we don't use coats. Like, we wear sandals year round. I know, I'm so spoiled. Anyway, so I think, like, if I was caught up, it would be like all the way to a circle, and it's supposed to look like a galaxy. I did use some of the light effects. I got some light effects DMC from the thrift store, and I didn't hate it, but I thought it was like flossing with, or stitching with tinsel, so I probably won't use it again. The other thing that you can see, I don't have the name off. I'll have to link it. I don't have the name of the person who made my Needleminder, but I have a few of hers. I have quite a few of her Needleminders, so let me see if I can bring it up close. One just fell. Something just fell. Again, it's Supernatural. Here, let me see. Yeah, my boys. I love my show. Total Supernatural nerd. I do have a couple patterns of Supernatural. I just don't have the time because I'm working on Fox and Rabbit. Oh, I think the back of the back of the magnet fell. And you get to watch me fumble for the back of my magnet. Where did it go? Oh well, I'll find it anyway. So this is, I'm gonna put that there so I don't lose it. My lavender bag whips. Okay, what else? I know I have a bunch of other whips. This is the bag of the month by Narelle. And inside is, it looks like just my Wednesday. So Forbidden Fiber Company made a Wednesday pattern. How freaking cute is that? And it says, I do like stabbing. Oh, no. It says something like, actually, it says something like, would you like to take a stab at being social or something like that? And she goes, I do like stabbing, from the show. I will tell you, like, I don't remember the name of the person who's running Forbidden Fiber, but she is so cool, because I was only sent, when I ordered this, I ordered it with the floss and the Ada, and I was not sent every page of the pattern, only like 3 out of 4. And she emailed it to me. She emailed me the whole freaking pattern. Like, so I just really want to plug Forbidden Fiber Company. They are so nice there. And her thread is like butter. Her thread is so much fun to use. So this is how much I've done of Wednesday. Not that much at all. But the thread and the Ada, so like the Ada, I love that she's like stitched it so that it won't fray at the ends. I know there's a technical term for that, but I don't have it in my head. It's like a fabricy, linen-y Ada, which I'm really like, oh, this is weird to stitch with. I don't hate it, but I'm used to stiff. But it's not a bad thing. Sorry, my nose is running. So I have been working on that one. I would like to work on it more. Obviously, I would like to be timely with it. My daughter, my 7-year-old, is a huge Wednesday Addams fan. Huge, 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 huge. And I would like to finish this, and so I can frame it and like put it in her room or something. I think she would really dig that. So there's that. And I don't know where the thread is. It's right here. But the Forbidden Fiber thread is so cool. And also, like, I really want to plug her black. Her Wednesday black. It's called Wednesday. So she sent me Wednesday Poinsettia and Pale Thistle. And I ended up ordering more Wednesday thread off of her website because it's like got shades of gray. I know you're not going to, well, maybe you can kind of see. It's like smoky. I just, like, my mind is blown. That is so cool. So I love how she does these floss drops because it's like she's pre-cut them. At least that's what I've found. And so, like, it's like ready. Like, it makes me feel like, oh my gosh, I get why people like floss drops. What a concept. So that's my Wednesday whip. I do have like a couple other like Wednesday patterns, but that's my Wednesday whip. I know that this is not the merch haul part, but since I'm here, I will plug that and tell you about when my bag was Simply Narelle. She sent me some DMC floss in my bag. Like, she sent like goodies in her bag and some like candy from Brazil and a little needle minder, a little thread, and you know that I'm from the United States, so it says Twinnings, strawberry, raspberry, and loganberry, and I'm like, what kind of exotic fruit is a loganberry. I don't know. I don't even drink tea. I drink Diet Coke, but this sounds amazing. I'm kind of keeping it for special occasions. So, anyway, how cool. And also, like, it is really cool to have global, to like think of global community for stitching. In the Fandom Stitching Central, we have live chats sometimes where like Zoom, kind of like Facebook video Zoom chats, and I have been able to meet people from like the UK and other states. It's like really cool. Like, who knew that? I didn't know that we were so blessed that DMC is so cheap in the United States, and it's ridiculously expensive in other parts of the world. Like, that's yeah. If I go and visit someone in another country, I will be bringing them a big black cone of doom as a gift, because I know it's so expensive. Okay, so the next one, another Narelle bag, is, I believe, my Freddy, my one line Freddy Krueger, and also my one linen project. So the prompt was to stitch on something that made you really uncomfortable. Like, I think that was the prompt, something like that. And so I pulled out my Fox and Rabbit sampler. Wow, I see a trend. And it's my Mary Morgan's sampler. I got it, the idea of it, from Cam the Stitcher. I don't know. She's working on it, or was working on it at some point. And hers looked beautiful. And I thought, oh my gosh, I want to do this too. And I should try it on linen, because everybody says that linen is better. And so I don't work on this a lot. I think I'll work on it if I'm prompted, and I'm not doing a terrible job on it, but I am so out of my comfort zone. So this is what it's supposed to look like, right? Beautiful. Just gorgeous. This is what I've got, and it's not terrible. I have just a little bit of disorientation with figuring out where to stitch because of the dots. And I'm used to stitching with Ada on like using 3 threads. I think I'm using 2. Yeah, I'm only using 2 because I thought, okay, 3 is probably way too much. But it's like, so I will work on this, and that fabric is just like from Hobby Lobby. I will work on this when I'm prompted, and probably when I don't have my other sampler or any other whip to work on. I will work on this, but until then, it will stay in my beautiful Narelle bag. Because, and just haunt me, because I don't want to work on it. I have a couple other whips. I have one whip that I was working on, if I could find it, of the Trick or Treat monster, the little pumpkin kid with the lollipop. If you know horror movies, you know what I'm talking about. I got one, a little tiny one from Etsy that I was working on as a part of a prompt. I am also working on, I don't know if I'm allowed to show the, I guess I'm not allowed to show the picture, huh? But I have the picture of the actual picture, so hold on. The New Mexico state symbol. I wonder if I I don't know. I'm sure there's like a way to do it without, but anyway, integrity. If you can see. There. Yeah. But the actual pattern doesn't call for red and turquoise. Oh, it does. Well, anyway, that's what kind of, it looks a little different in person than it does in the picture. So I am using gold Ada that I got at Joann's probably. And I have done about, no, wrong way. Almost 1/4, maybe. I don't know. But it reminds me of home, and I'm really proud of the southwestern feel of it. So I'm kind of excited about this one. I worked on this one the other day. I've been doing the sampler on my phone using Pattern Keeper. And so, like, my daughter had my phone for some reason. I know what reason. She was talking to my ex. And so I was, like, in a stitchy groove, and I didn't want to interrupt that groove, and so I grabbed this one. So it has purpose. Oh, that was gross. I have one more whip. And then I have a bunch of off the rails. So the last whip is the SnarkyAndModern Valentine. This is going to be forever known as the floss tube where my nose was running and I sounded like crap. If you've made it this far, thank you for staying. I'm a human being. So the SnarkyAndModern Valentine stitch along should have ended before Valentine's Day. But I was busy. I did buy their fabric. It's beautiful. It's gray Ada, and it's supposed to be a moth. And then it'll say "Till Death" on the corner. I don't know how I can link to a Facebook group. Oh, it's on Etsy. I'll link to the Etsy link so that you can see what it looks like. But I do feel very cool stitching a moth for Valentine's Day. It is definitely not the kind of thing I would expect to be stitching as a romantic notion. Okay, so that is all of my whips. That's not all of my whips, but that's all the whips I'm going to show you. Now let me show you how I've gone crazy. I have gone a little bit crazy in the last 2 months. I will start by showing you the things that you would expect for me to buy. On the fandom, or no, on the destashing, I got a bunch of these like Native American pattern books. So I don't know if you can see, they're like really vintage, and very cool. And let me see, like this one, they're like, they've got like Kachina dolls. Very, very cool. And just completely my vibe. It's kind of cringy when I think about it, that like, how is this my vibe? This stuff used to embarrass me as a kid. But I don't know how you think you grow out of things. You think you, like, when you're a kid, you like, it's like you hate your hometown, and then you grow up and you can't imagine going anywhere else. And a part of me really longs for, I think maybe is even a little bit nostalgic for New Mexico. So I bought a bunch of those pattern books. I don't know when I will get to them. Probably never, but they are cool for my collection. I also got, so on Facebook Marketplace, this guy was selling a bunch of patterns, and I kind of got the vibe that he was selling a bunch of patterns way overpriced. Like he wasn't the one who had used them, and he was just reselling them. And a couple, the books I'm going to show you now are 2 that he had that caught my eye, and those are the ones I wanted, but he had already sold them. And it was fine because he lived like 30 minutes away, and I just didn't get a vibe that I was buying from a cross stitcher. I got a vibe that I was buying from somebody's grandson who didn't really care. And that rubbed me the wrong way for some reason. But I looked on Amazon, and I got these 2 books. Magical Cross Stitch. It doesn't say who it's by, but it's got some really pretty designs. Like here's like a really pretty mermaid. It's probably kind of vintagey. I don't know. Like this fairy is boss. She's beautiful. I don't know if I will ever get to her, but it is really fun to look at her. This one is called the Dark Sorceress, and I don't know where they're getting dark from. She doesn't look dark to me. She looks kind of autumny to me. I think phoenixy, maybe? I don't know. So, it was a good buy. This one, Fantasy Cross Stitch by Leslie Tier. And I saw that Leslie Tier is a cross stitch designer that is in a lot of the cross stitch magazines. So she's like a legit cross stitch artist. You guys are all like, yeah, we've heard of her. So I got this book for of her patterns. They're like magical. And I did actually, oh wow. I just saw someone finish recently. Here's a wizard. Which is really funny because one of the fandom prompts is to do a wizard. And I probably will never do this. But if you like wizards, or if you're looking for a more masculine pattern, it exists. They're not just all women. The pattern that I was gonna say something about, that I saw someone just do a finish on in Facebook, is this one. And it's like Zodiac. Ooh, how pretty is that? You know? So again, like, I don't know when I'm ever going to get to these patterns. They're beautiful though. One of the things that I think is hilarious about these is that in both of these books, kind of like the cross stitch magazines, in the back they tell you how to do things like how to make a tassel and how to make your cross stitch into a card, and how to do beading. And I'm like, I'm not making tassels. I'm just trying to get through the whips. I can't make a pillow. I can't even put my zipper on the sewing machine. So, and also I've got YouTube, so I'm not going to read instructions from that book. But I am glad. I got also, I did do, like I just said, the Starlight Stitchery box. I happened to log on when they had just posted that it was ready to go, and so this is like, it came with like a lot. I really recommend it, actually. It's worth the cost. It came with like a bath bomb and lip balm and a patch and some stickers and some Ada and some floss by Forbidden Fiber Company and a different company for the Ada. And then the patterns. Oh my god, you guys are tiring me out. So, like, that's cute. I hope I didn't show too much. Anyway, but it, and I don't know. I think it's cool. I've seen a lot of people do the Witchy Stitchers. Here's that Trick or Treat guy. He's not the same pattern I've got, but he's cute. Trick or Treat pattern. I will say, if you are on the fence about getting a Starlight Stitchery box or a themed box from anyone, that you should do it, because it was, I know I was really sick when I got it, and it was such a joy to get that like happy mail, right? It made me feel really, really good. When I felt like I was dying. I had a really bad flu a couple weeks ago. So because I had such a good experience with that, I also ended up getting the Forbidden Fiber Company True Crime little box. And I will not go overboard on what is in there. It's like stickers and Ada and stuff, but I will say, like, look at how pretty. I must have used some of her thread already. Look at how pretty her thread is. And it comes with a pattern about true crime. Let me see if I have it. That's the fabric. So Forbidden Fiber is my jam. You guys are my people. It says crime is common, logic is rare. Let me see if I can. So it's got like DNA. Yeah. Very cool. Very, very cool. So I'm almost done. I have talked for 45 minutes. This is my longest floss tube ever, but I had a lot to catch you up on. But before I go, I will show you 3 things that I bought that are not anything I have any business buying. That's not entirely true. And I know that. And I know that I can. But I got them in the mail. Like I impulse bought them, and then I got them in the mail, and I was like, oh. You know when you buy like something on the menu and you get it and it's huge and your eyes were bigger than your stomach? That's how I felt. Not as much. Okay, so let me show you. So the first one I got, Pandemic. I got Pandemic. I got it for the Fandom Stitching Central yearly challenge because it's so big. It's like really big. I mean, everybody knows about Pandemic, and it's been around for a couple of years now, and so everybody knows how daunting and big it is. I don't know when I'm going to start it. I thought about starting it the other day, and then I went, nah, I'll just do my mystery boxing rabbit sampler. So one day maybe I will start Pandemic. The next one I want to show you is on Facebook. Someone was posting about Alphonse Mucha, and it's like these really art deco-y, again, everybody probably already knows what I'm gonna say, but beautiful art deco-y type women patterns. And I thought, oh, like that looks really cool, I want to try that. And then they sent me the pattern, and like, holy freaking moly, it is a book. There's rings. Ugh, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is the list of floss. So this is the pattern. I think I got this off of a destashing thing. And I don't know when I'm gonna ever work on this pattern, but one day I think I'm done buying full coverage patterns, especially after I show you what I got, the next one I got. So the last thing I'm going to show you is the destashing that I also got on the destashing group. And this is where I said, I have made a mistake. I have made a mistake. I bought a freaking Mirabilia. It is at the Met, and I even bought the freaking beads because she had them, and I was like, well, yeah, like, if you can do it, I can do it. So, and I read that you can do Mirabilias on Ada. I did, and that helped me, encouraged me a little bit. So this is my Mirabilia. She's beautiful. And she may never get done. Look, she's still sealed. She's sealed. They seal their patterns. I buy all of my patterns in PDFs off of Etsy, so that's impressive. I think that's it. I have a couple really cute Needleminders to show you. This one says, I'm not perky, and it's Wednesday. And this one I love. It's a little girl stitching. Let me see if I can bring it up closer. So, other than that, that's me. The last 2 months, I've been stitching on Fox and Rabbit and getting over a cold and then a cough, and the rain is crazy, and I went off the rails. I hope to have some updates in 2 weeks. I will try. But it would really be awesome if you like and subscribed and commented and don't feel like you have to. What am I talking about? But I'm much more active on Instagram too. And I noticed that I have more interaction with people on Instagram. So if this was really boring, then I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. This is where I'm self-sabotaging. I'm self-sabotaging right now. But thank you, Internet. And I hope that you have a good rest of your weekend. Here's my dog. She needs to get down. I will see you in a couple weeks, hopefully. Thanks. Bye.